Have you ever done crowd work and realized in the middle that the guy's with a prostitute?
No, really?
I have. I've been like, hello, sir, that's your date. She's looking sparkly. What's your name? Mercedes. Wait a minute. Like, I'm moving on. That's happened. Because what do? I've also done crowd work to a pregnant woman smoking. Way before I had, any authority. You got to be the headliner to tackle that one.
Oh, yeah.
The opener can't be like, hello, you're giving your fetus emphysema. Let's get this show
Where
going. Dr.
were you?
Demento. Milwaukee.
And they were first of all, they're smoking inside.
It was I've been doing comedy. So have you, right? I mean, you've done comedy long enough for the smoke inside.
Yeah.
Remember when people would blow smoke at you? That was my least favorite heckle.
Oh, when I used to host at the Improv, so this is like 1989, and you could smoke there. And I would be there from 8 o'clock till 1:30 in the morning, and I would come home, and it was like I had 5 packs of cigarettes.
That's a great Seinfeld joke too. He goes like, "I secondhand smoke 5 packs a day." Because I don't know if he said 5, but it was the same.
I sit next to someone on a plane that has smoked, and it's on their jacket, and I'm coughing.
Do you want to get real fancy pants?
Yeah.
If a makeup artist smokes?
Oh, no.
And here come their yellow tar fingers right to your eyeball, and you're like, I don't want to go to Flavor Country right now. Thank you very kindly. I don't know what that voice is.
And they get so mad. If you said, can you wash your hands? They're kind of stinky.
Oh, sure.
Enjoy the next 40 minutes of that.
I'd rather they just ate like a sauerkraut sandwich.
Absolutely. It's so gross, and I can't believe we all put up with it for so long.
I know. Dude, I worked at Bennigan's. We used to work in the smoking section. The Monte Cristo's already going to kill you. Do you have to send a pack of Cools in chasing after?
I love the whole concept of the smoking section, like the smoke didn't reach the non-smoking section.
It's like the air section. Yeah. Can I be in the oxygen section? Yeah. Well, there's oxygen coming.
I remember smoking on the plane.
Really?
I mean, I remember being a kid.
Did you ever smoke, Judd?
My mom, when I was a kid, gave me $5 to not smoke when I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
And for some reason, I felt like I needed to honor that agreement.
That almost just made me tear up. I don't know what. That is so sweet because that does do something to you as a kid. I'm being paid for this promise I'm making, and $5 as a kid is a lot. That's a great system.
And she struggled to quit smoking always. Mm-hmm. She went to this thing when I was a kid called Smoke Enders.
My mom went to Smoke Enders.
Really?
Yeah,
and one of the things
worked.
Was she had to get a little like a glass thing, and she would put all her cigarette butts in it, and there was water in it, and it stunk.
Yeah,
and then she would have to try to sniff it before she decided to smoke. To be disgusted by it.
Great idea.
None of it ever worked.
Idea. It didn't?
Oh, never.
It didn't.
She kept smoking?
She kept smoking.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was a smoke ender.
All the way to the end.
Wow. She was a smoke ender.
Smoke ender. Look, I don't smoke, but if I could go back in time and light up a cigarette on an airplane, I would fucking do it. I would do it. I would get up, just like a man in the 70s. I'd unbuckle my pants just for the relaxation, just to kind of let it flap, smoke a cigarette, call the stewardess sweetheart. Come on.
But there was like a smoking section, so it usually was like the back of the plane, and they'd have like the little curtain and the assumption that the smoke wasn't going to just be in the entire cylinder.
Oh, gross. But on Mad Men, they smoke in first class. You can't have a little section in the back and not have the Primas in the front.
I bet you they had like half of first class smoking and half of coach smoking.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all ridiculous.
How could you sleep if the guy next to you was just sucking down a Marlboro Light?
Because it was everywhere.
Yeah, you're right.
It was everywhere.
You're right.
I grew up with parents who smoked inside, and I had chronic sinus infections as a kid. I had like a line in my nose from always going like this. That's just one of those kids that's just constantly. And we go, what is going on? What are her allergies? Turns out smoking.
Yeah, of course. Cut to me cascading my baby with a humidifier that looks like an elephant. Like, we've changed so much. Like, the idea of being like, hey, Duncan, get over here. Bring the ashtray. Like your little 5-year-old. Stay here. Daddy's ashing.
And you feel like, I'm 34. It wasn't like I was a kid in the 50s when it was they just beat you and like blew smoke. Like I wasn't. My parents knew better. My parents are.
I wasn't working at the GM plant.
Yeah. But still, there were just egregious mistakes being made as parents that they didn't know any better.
I know.
My wife was just on a plane, and she said she was sitting across from a rabbi who was vaping.
The vaping
on the plane.
Modest Yahoo was on her plane.
Really?
Although this is a weird story that's not fully related, but my daughter Maud was on a plane, and she's like, I was sitting next to this guy, and like everyone kept walking up to him and asking for his autograph, and I didn't know who it was. Who's Mr. T?
Hilarious. Hilarious. One of the easiest autographs, by the way. 3 letters.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't use that period, just like you up. You're no punctuation. Where we're going, you don't need punctuation.
Who's the most famous people you've been on airplanes with?
You know, I have a good one about this because I got on a plane and Paul Giamatti got on.
Ooh, nice.
Billions. And he sat right next to me. Then 10 minutes later, Tom Selleck got on.
Wow.
So I'm looking at it. He smells like leather and burgundy. And I lean over to Paul Giamatti and I go, I'm so sorry, I never do this. Is that Tom Selleck?
Did he laugh?
Did he love it?
He did his
Are you
Giamatti.
the guy who will talk to Paul Giamatti when he sits next to you?
No, I feel bad, but that story's not true. Everything except what I said is not.
Oh my
true.
God, you bastard!
No.
I sat behind Nancy Reagan once on a plane.
But I will tell you what was true.
Nancy Reagan.
The reason I confessed that it wasn't true was because I was so determined not to talk to Paul Giamatti, even though Crashing, season 3, January 20th,
Yes.
shoots on the same stage as Billions, and we have a lot of the same crew. So I knew I had an in. But guess who has restraint? I don't eat cookies after 9, and I don't bother Giamatti.
I was on a plane with Alan Thicke once, and there was an enormous amount of turbulence, and I thought, I don't think I'm going to die with Alan Thicke. Yeah. And then I wasn't nervous. I'm like, it's not going to happen with Alan Thicke.
That's funny.
You just had a feeling that that's not how you're going down.
Tarantino had that on a turbulent plane, and he was writing Pulp Fiction. He goes, I haven't finished my movie.
I was on a plane when I was a kid with Freddie Prinze.
Junior?
Wow.
No, the original.
Did he have a baby with him, though? That
Was he smoking with unbuckled pants? Hey, sweetheart. He calls you sweetheart? Hey, sweetheart. You're
Freddie
a fan?
Prinze. I mean, and as a huge comedy fan early on, were you freaking out? Did you go up
Oh,
to
yeah,
him?
I was little, but he was a giant star then.
Yeah.
And there's an episode of Crashing that we ended with the theme to Chico and the Man, and it's my favorite music cue I've ever put.
Really?
In anything. For some
that's
reason,
great.
it's just so perfect at the end of the episode.
Do you guys struggle with turbulence still with all the traveling you do?
I was on a plane. I think we're going to crash every time. And I was recently on a plane, and there was all this turbulence. And we were in first class because HBO was flying us out. It was really fancy and nice. And the guy next to me, I was trying to be good. They kept offering us like ice cream sundaes and liquor. And I was trying to be good because we were about to shoot. I was like, no, I'm good. And the guy next to me, I was hating this guy. And whenever I turned down something, he'd take mine.
He had double ice cream.
Yeah, so he had 2 ice creams, he had 2 champagnes, then he got really drunk, then he started watching like Rampage or something, and then he reclined his seat before takeoff. I don't care for that. Above the rules.
No, I hate when you know someone's going to get told something and you're going to have to witness it.
Because he was passed out full of dairy and doers. And he's just breathing in a way that I knew he had an apparatus at home. And it's still turbulent. He doesn't care. He's passed out. And then he wakes up in the middle of a flight and unpauses Rampage with his socked foot. And that's when I went, we can crash. I will happily die. I will be the Jesus Christ of this plane. I will die so the world doesn't have to have this man.
I feel that way so
Just
often.
the sound of his sock on the screen, there for the next person, smelling like a bowl full of wet cigarettes. That would have made your mom stop smoking. This guy unpausing. If he handed your mother a cigarette with his socked foot,
my mom did eventually quit. She went to a nunnery to like isolate and learn to quit smoking. And then she also read the book, the Alan Carr book, The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. That's everyone.
Yeah. Oh wait, I just talked to how am I blanking on his last name? Dan Soder. So Soder told me about that book.
I gave him that
I know, he told me yesterday. Yes. He was like, you gave him that book. I read a book called This Naked Mind, The Easy Way to Control Drinking. And it's like Alan Carr, and I quit drinking.
Yes,
I just go to hypnotists.
Do you really?
I'm all about the hypnotist.
Do you really, Jeff?
He goes to Dr. Demento.
I go, yeah.
Wait, what have you been hypnotized about?
Everything.
What?
My personality.
Really? And it's worked?
Food, anxiety, everything.
People like your goofy face, like that sort of stuff.
But he gets intense, you know. He's
a callback.
He tries to scare you. He's like, if you could make a deal with God, and in that deal, you would never get sick, and you won't die in a hospital suffering in pain from disease, and all you had to do was eat well, would you make that deal?
Oh, boy.
And then I go straight to sprinkles.
You're having the session in a sprinkles.
I found that the only way not to be afraid on a plane is it's when I get on, I accept my own death. I just go, I swear, every time we're like...
Well, that's a good rule for life.
Yeah, I just go, you know what? It was a good ride. I think we did good. And then we take off. I'm like, if there's more, there's more.
What's funny is we're afraid of being on planes, right? Because planes might crash. But we're all stuck in these planes. You know what I mean? You're never not on a plane. Like this could have a failure. There's just no engine light.
I could just die. Hijacked.
So this is actually a good point. Making peace and living in the present is the I used to get on planes and go. It was actually a Bill Cosby joke. Unfortunately, he used to say, "People, I won't do the voice, are afraid to fly, but when I get on a plane, I don't even hide it. I just go, hope it don't crash," right? So I used to get on planes. Obviously, I've been on thousands of planes, and I used to, in my head, go, hope it don't crash, just to make the same little joke.
Yeah.
And now I just go, I'm grateful for the present moment. And that really takes it away. Because I'm on a plane right now. There's nothing to say. You could be scared, or you could appreciate it. I'm not trying to frighten anyone. I'm trying to make your breakfast taste better. You know
sometimes
I mean?
I think
it's your only breakfast.
But I also think that your body is so soft that sometimes I go, it's just weird that more things don't bump into it and just cut off a huge hunk of it.
I know. Like Play-Doh. Like the way that Play-Doh could be cut with like knives that are shaped like
I thought you were talking about the philosopher.
Your whole life you're just trying not to get something to bump into you and like lop off a hunk of your head.
What if you go back to ancient Greece and you're like, I'm looking for Play-Doh, and they're like, oh, over here, and they took you to a room and it's just red clay.
I love the smell of fresh Play-Doh.
In the morning.
Okay, we're doing
fresh Play-Doh in the morning. Fresh Play-Doh.
You know what
great.
I would like to request?
If my makeup artist played with Play-Doh and did my makeup, I'd be like, stay close. You're my childhood. I love you. Did you have a sauerkraut sandwich with the other hand?
She's just taking Play-Doh breaks.
OMG. Play-Doh cologne. Nikki.
Why not?
I just made $1 billion idea for us. Neither of us have to work ever again.
I want new sneaker cologne.
Okay. They have that. Puff Daddy is definitely wearing new sneaker cologne. I don't know if it's for sale, but he's definitely. Turtle from Entourage is definitely rubbing that on his butt.